Yes, baby, recording in progress. So I'm going to let my hair down. I put on some sparkles today. I'm this picture up here. Do you see my background today? This was the most abundant background I could find. I am now going to spotlight myself. There we go. So, oh, there you go. There I am. You can hear me, right? Okay. So now to celebrate the appearance of a guy in our circle, I'm going to add a spotlight. There you go. Welcome, Mordechai.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel it feels like a privilege.
It is, and you're going to enjoy this. So I've prepared a song for you. And before we listen to this song, I'm inviting everyone to ground down like this beautiful tree. There you go, behind me. Because that's how we start our circles. We come into the present moment. And we take 3 breaths together. And in these 3 breaths, we ground down into the earth beneath us, this beautiful planet. And we imagine that we have these golden roots going down and down and down through all the layers of the earth until we hit the core of the earth, that lava-filled heart of the earth. Can you imagine that, Marie? Cool. And then when we imagine dangling our roots in this lava-filled earth, we let go of everything and anything that's going on right now. So every exhale, we release emotions, beliefs, stories, experiences, and we just come into this present moment. True that we need a wealthy man to have lots of money, Murray?
Absolutely not.
Thank you.
I do totally not believe in that.
Cool. Nor do I. Nor do I. Although I do believe that surrounding yourself with people who are wealthy and people who know about wealth and are good at managing wealth is a good idea.
Definitely.
So let me introduce this wonderful man to you all, goddesses. I'm going to read it to you so I make no mistake. This is, I hope I pronounce it right, Mordechai Krispijn. And he's a multipreneur. So not an entrepreneur, he's a multipreneur from the Netherlands. And he's known by many for setting up Europe's largest salsa dance organization. I like that. I like a guy who can dance. With the Army of Love, he and his partner, Anna, help people in various areas through these times of great transformation that we're in right now, and intensively involved in the global financial transformation. Mordechai regularly shares his informed opinion, so he really checks out a lot of different things when it comes to protecting, spreading, and growing your savings through blogs and vlogs and seminars and webinars and conversations like this. So thank you so much for making time for us, goddesses, today.
Thank you for the invitation.
Tell me, how did you get into this world of finances, and how did you become what you now say is a financial expert? What was the drive?
It's a funny story because actually that was part of my former life before I started my dance company. So I started working with big corporate companies. Among some of them were lease companies, car leasing companies. And I got involved into the financial part because leasing is a sort of financial construction. So I got involved in that. I became a manager. And as soon as my dance company started growing, I had to make a choice like, okay, do I want to make my dance company bigger than it was at that moment? Or do I want to keep working for corporate companies and do that? And I chose for the first. So I do
what made you choose that? I've got to hook into that moment, because that's a kind of life choice that many of us can have at some time, right? I remember that choice myself when I decided I don't want to do a job. I've done jobs, but I want to be my own business. And what drove you to say yes to that adventure?
Yeah, what actually happened is that this is quite funny because at that time, there was no, there was internet, but on a very small scale. This is the end of the 90s. And I was working for that company. And every time I was working for the company, I was missing all kinds of phone calls of people that were interested in the dance company. And at a certain moment, because I have this financial background, I started calculating how much money I was missing by not being able to pick up the phone. Because I was working, I was actually creating the dream for someone else because I was working for a big company.
Who knows that? Who of you, to start, who goddesses, because we make this always about ourselves. Who else sometimes or at some point in life had the feeling that they were actually busy manifesting the dream of someone else, the parent, the society. Oh, cool, cool. So you've hit a chord there. Okay, so that happened, and then you went full blow for the dance company.
I went full blown for the company. And what happened then is that I was running this company for 4 years already, almost 5. And I switched to full time and I doubled the amount of students and I doubled the amount of money within just 1 year because I had like 400 students at that point. And the moment I went full time, I had more than 1,000 students within 1 year just by following this passion. And I had to let go of my colleagues and the corporate world. But then after that, I didn't feel like it didn't feel like working anymore.
Because you were doing what you love.
Exactly. And when you
and then you made another switch. So how did that happen?
Yeah, I made a lot of switches later on, but the dance company was the main focus for about 25 years. And then I felt like my mission was about to be completed within the dance world because I had teachers courses, I have online programs, I organized big festivals in Europe. We became the biggest in our sorts for salsa dancing. And the challenge was like, okay, I've done everything that I wanted to achieve. And this is also nice for tonight. I put a goal, and the goal was I want to reach and touch the lives of 1 million people with my dance products. That was the goal at a certain moment.
And that was an intention.
There was an intention, yeah. And I put it very strongly after 10 years. And the moment I put that goal, I wasn't active on YouTube yet. And I think a few years later, I started putting my videos on YouTube. And within, I think, 2 years, I reached about 1 million views with my videos and dance instruction. And then it was like, okay, so what do I do now? Because do I put now 10 million or 100 million? But I felt like the mission is complete.
You've done your bit. You've done your bit.
I can now do something else. So this is how different things started. And then 3 years ago, when Corona started, the company, of course, went through quite some turmoil. And that was the moment for me to say, okay, I have done my job. This is a sign of the cosmos. Let me do something else.
Yeah, and I love that you believe in reading and not only reading those signs, but doing something about it. So now you're doing a lot of different things, and you're also a big network marketer. So you're in different platforms. So you know how to build business. You know how to dance. So let me ask you a couple of questions that I hope are going to help us goddesses find out why it sometimes can seem so tricky or such a sort of complicated an affair between money and women. Okay, because I've noticed this also in my clients. When I have, say, my male clients come in, they're usually very successful businessmen. They've got a lot of their life completely in check, but they've got one thing missing, but it's not money. It's not abundance. And then I have all these droves of women who have a lot of other things in check, but life's great. But the kind of abundance thing, the money thing, the business thing is not really there. So why do you think that is so?
I believe it's conditioning. And I am the living proof of conditioning. I grew up in one of the worst neighborhoods in the country. In Holland, I don't know if there are any Dutch here, but we call it the Schilderswijk.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they've got a lot of Dutch. So what is it called?
We call it the Schilderswijk in The Hague. It's quite a famous neighborhood because in that area we were confronted with a lot of immigrants in the beginning of Turkey and Morocco and all those kind of nationalities. And I became friends with all of those people because when you're young, I think I was like 12 when I moved to the Schilderswijk, and before I was in Transvaal, which is also not the best neighborhood. And what I noticed was conditioning. So what we heard from the very beginning is that rich people are anti-social. That was something very common. And the other thing that people said, well, money doesn't make you happy. And all those kinds of conditionings, they got programmed. But at a very early age, and I think I was like 14, I met this Chinese guy. I think I met him already when I was 12, but when we were like 14, 15, we started to dream about starting businesses. And he is a Chinese guy. He grew up with a Chinese background, and they do not have this conditioning. Money.
Interesting, right? I've noticed that too with my Chinese clients.
Yeah.
They have, at least the ones that I attract, have zero problem in abundance. They're usually incredibly wealthy, but unhappy. That's interesting. So cultural conditioning is a big thing.
Yeah.
And the conditioning that's obviously stopping women from really owning this space, where do you think that's coming from?
I think it has to do with very traditional patterning, because what I noticed with this Chinese guy, he had a sister who is also a lady, as he became very successful in business, because within that culture, money is of importance. So that was something that I noticed, and a lot of women, and I think we're still growing back to the balance, because I believe what I see with women around me is that many do not realize their power. Many women are not
Let's take
realizing
a pause
power.
there. Let's take a pause there. Is that right? Is that right? That what Murray is saying, that because part of us doesn't own actually the creative power that we have, the power of attraction, the power of magnetizing exactly what we want in us, which is the power of the creator, that is stopping us. And then when you feel that inside of you, right, then go a step deeper and say, which part of conditioning have you taken over there? Because you know, is it something maybe that mom and dad said about money? Did your mom maybe live, I don't know, not a life that was very prosperous? Did she have a business? Did she not have a business? Just check in and allow your subconscious mind to bring you the answer. Okay, thank you, Mari. So what financial advice would you give women to building long-term wealth? Get hit right there.
I think that's basically the same for men and for women. The only thing that women have to remember in general is to remember their own power, their own strength, and stay authentic to themselves, because a lot of these patterns have gone through generations. So when you solve any kind of issue, not only financial, but also in relationships or with your kids or whatever, I believe that whenever you solve a certain kind of challenge in your life, you're not solving it only for yourself. You're also solving it for generations ahead. And I even believe you're solving it for the generations of the past. That's what I believe.
Okay, that makes sense. And that's what we do in our circles, like every week. Every week we're working on something, dissolving patterns and transforming them into good ones. So let's just assume for now we're in a good space and we're ready to do something to build wealth. Because I know that, you know, we have many different women from different backgrounds here. We have business women, but we also have women who maybe don't even have their own bank account. What advice could you give these women to say, okay, this is something practical that you can do now. This is where you can put your money, or this is where you don't put your money. What would you say?
I would say start with the knowledge of you need to spread your money. Okay, don't put it on one horse. Don't put it on.
I'm going to write this down. So I'm not looking at my phone. I'm just taking notes. Okay.
So
spread your money is number one.
Spread your money. So that means what I always say to people now, especially in these times, go into gold, go into silver, if you can afford it. But you can even buy a very small piece of gold, a small piece of silver. You can start very small. I would also say go into stocks. And then I would always say go for the index bonds. Okay, go for indexes. So
okay, let's take a pause. So we've got gold and silver, stocks, and index bonds. You're going to have to tell us a bit more about that, but I'm sure you will.
When we talk about stocks, I always invest in the indexes. Okay, because the index is a collection of companies where the money goes through. Okay, so I wouldn't advise you to buy one stock unless you totally believe in one company, but buy a collection of companies by buying something which we call an index.
And so that is maybe, for instance, something like an energy conglomerate, an energy index. Those are companies that invest into energy production, or what does an index mean?
Yeah, what we do with the index is, for example, if you take some world index, you actually invest in a combination of worldwide companies that are going to, in average, in growth. So you don't have to look around. You don't have to go every day and check it. Just place it there. Then I wouldn't advise you to put 1,000 euro a year. I would advise you to place 100 euros a month. Because
Okay.
by the time you get to the end of the year, if you place 100 a month and you have 2% growth after 1 month, then the month after it's 102. And if you then look at 100 euros that you start in January, by the time you reach December, it's probably somewhere about 1,200 instead of you putting 1,000 at the end of the year. So that's what we call compounding.
Yes, compounding is the thing that we don't learn at school.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is so?
Why we don't learn this at school? Yeah, if you look at the bigger scale, it is not very good for the system if we all learn how to make a lot of money.
That's true. And is that maybe the reason why Gina in the chat is saying, you know, when you say this, I feel such a great resistance. Mm-hmm. There's this sense of like, oh my God, that's so difficult. And I'm with you, Gina. I mean, I bought stocks and funds when I was very young because I went to my bank and I said, I want to do this, help me, right? So I just did it and I did it very intuitively. And I did well with that. Currently, I'm not investing into any stocks and bonds other than into the gold because that just feels in resonance with what I want to do. And that's a call to all of you. You feel intuitively from what Mordechai is saying, this feels right for me. And then don't mistake, if you feel a curiosity about something, that's a good thing. Then, of course, the conditioning will stop in and we'll say, yeah, but that's really difficult. You don't know anything about this. Well, yeah, you might not, but you might know people who know something about it, like Mordechai, and then you can learn from them. So this is something where I think we also have to be open to the possibility that making money is easy. How does that feel, Gina? And you're not alone in this. This is what I think is important. That's why I love goddess circles, but also my groups of friends. And I have so many circles of advisors around me that I consult because I can't know this all myself. But if you know the right people and you have people that you can trust, you can reach out and lean on that network. And I think that's why you're also so successful, Mari, is because you have that kind of holistic approach at all of this. And you've got different legs you're standing on. So my question to you is, would you also advise to kind of spread the wealth in a sense of put it in different things at the different time, or are you more keep to one thing?
No, absolutely. Keep spreading, because if you only do gold or only do silver, which I think is also worth it, but then you're still only dependent on the gold and the silver. So that's why I would advise you to do stocks, not only for the stocks, but also to learn from the process while doing it. So you learn how that works. And the same goes, for example, invest also in online platforms. You can also do some cryptos. You don't have to put all your savings in cryptos, but do at least a little. Buy, for example, 10 euros a month in Bitcoin and just see what happens, just to get
And
you.
I'm sorry, just to stop you in Bitcoin, because you see, I've not invested in crypto either, other than in the Gigos platform where we are dealing with some kind of crypto. But I'm a total novice in this, and it feels kind of very elusive. It's like I'm buying basically hot air. It's something on a digital platform that is so-called money, but and then yes, Bitcoin. I know that, for instance, my son was smart enough to buy Bitcoin way back, very little, but he made a lot of money with that. I didn't, because I was like, don't trust this. So is it still wise to buy Bitcoin? Because there's so many different Bitcoin things out there. They're called very strange things.
If you would ask me to make a choice, if I really have to choose between gold and Bitcoin, I would always choose gold.
Okay.
Always. Because I believe that when the dollar drops or the euro drops, the gold will keep its money. Bitcoin, you have to realize that cryptos are still at the very beginning of its existence at all. But I still think it's interesting to get familiar with those kind of developments. Just like with online platforms, with NFTs and blockchain, just get a little bit familiar with it. You don't have to know everything about it, but just a little taste.
Mm-hmm. And who is anybody watching now saying, yes, I want that? Can we reach out to you and say, hey, Mordechai, or how's the best way to get in contact with you or start doing these things that you're suggesting?
Well, what they can do, we can actually plan a webinar. We already planned a webinar for the gold platform, but what we
A
can
masterclass.
we
A
can also plan a
masterclass.
masterclass. I gave the other day, that was last Friday, I gave a webinar about pure financial things that you might do for 2024. And I
Would you
can,
share that with us?
yeah, I actually did it in Dutch, but we can do it in English also. And I think that's very interesting. Yeah.
That would be amazing because that would give us all, because I know your time is short. That's why I'm kind of rushing through these questions a bit. That would be amazing. Can you share that with us? And we'll send it out in the replay. We'll also tag it in this video if you're watching this on YouTube. Then we can kind of get a sort of short and snappy intro of this is what we could do in 2024 with some money if we wanted to. And then I heard you say that you would actually do a masterclass for us about gold. You know, that's a topic very close to my heart. Is that true? Did you say that?
Yeah. So what I did on my platform, we call it goud in handen, which means gold within your hands, which is a saying in Dutch, having gold in your hands. I have made a form, and that's on the 17th of January. I will place the link in the chat, and then people can subscribe. And I actually took the freedom to place a picture of you because I know you're going to be part of it too on the 17th.
I love that. You see, this is a proactive man. I mean, celebrate this. And if you're experiencing this as a proactive man and you like that, know that your mirror neurons are just learning something new. Huh? So this does exist. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Will the webinar be about Gigos? So this masterclass, yes, it will definitely also touch on Gigos because that's also, but he shares a lot of different stuff, but it'll also give you the opportunity to look into that if you want to too. So cool. So can I ask you another question, Murray?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Cool. I'm going to just choose one of the ones because I had so many ready for you. Okay. So Murray, if you had to choose a financial superhero to represent women in the realm of money management, okay, a superhero in the realm of money management, a female one, who would it be and why?
I think the first person that pops up, I actually would have to choose two because I do not believe in only managing finance. Because you know what the thing is, I do know quite some women that are very good at finance, but I always notice that they have been able to solve other things within themselves, just as for men, by the way, to become financially successful. So I would choose you, for example. Yeah,
Damn, that made my microphone even falls out there. Me, cool, yes,
yeah,
I'm totally listening.
And I do not know how your financial situation is, but I do know
you do a little bit.
a little bit, but I do know that you have the skills of helping people to get over any kind of limitations. And that's one of the things that I think. And then I would choose Madelon Vos. And Madelon Vos is a lady who is having her own YouTube channel and who I watch every week.
Can you share the link in the chat then afterwards?
I will place her name, Madelon Vos. Very smart lady.
Madelon Vos. Okay.
Vos. She has her own YouTube channel. Thousands and thousands of people are listening to her talking about CBDCs and cryptos and everything. But I think if I would ask her this same question, that she probably wouldn't actually know how to get there if you're not there yet. So that's why I would get you on board and say, okay, if people get into some obstructions or mental limitations, then go to Joy. And then for the financial practical insights, go to Madelon.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for that tip and that compliment. Cool. We have time for another question.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay. Are there any common misconceptions, so things where we see things wrong, about women and money that you've encountered, and how do you debunk them? So when you're meeting with a client or person and you're noticing this misconception, how do you debunk it? And what is the most common one you've encountered?
Yeah, a lot of people have this misconception, especially women themselves, I believe, that money is not their thing and money is something that is for the guys and stuff
when
like
it's
that.
numbers, right? It's numbers.
It's numbers and it's ratio, etc. But I do believe that whenever we see women getting into their full force, staying close to their own authenticity, that's the most important. Do not try to copy anyone else. Then money is just a form of energy. And that is the thing that most guys are not getting. Most men that become very successful, they have it because of strategies. Just because of strategies. And there is many times very little feeling and emotion involved. So when you get best of both worlds, you can see that women can flourish like no one else. And that's because it then becomes the complete package. That's what
Yes. And I love what you're saying. This so ties into, I've been recording a new online training that my life has asked me to produce, and I'm calling it Intuitive Manifestation. So this is such a timely conversation right now, because yes to all that you said. I could just see it from my own financial development, right? Every single time I actually made a quantum leap of faith, every time, like sort of like you, changed direction, decided, okay, stop this, do this. Because I'm so focused and disciplined, that's just part of who I am, that new thing would suddenly go woof, like this. As long as I kept my focus there and my heart was there, then really these incredible growth stories can happen. So what's your favorite growth story? Did you have maybe an experience with someone else who made a breakthrough that where you just thought, damn, can you share one?
Oh, I think there are many. I think the nice thing is because you know her as well. That's for Ingrid. Ingrid is my business partner that I work together with. And we were working in a network marketing company together with vitamins. And I could see that she was struggling within that company, and she was always struggling. And then something happened, and I don't know if I can share it, so I don't, but I did notice there was a personal shift within her, and it actually touched her heart. And I could actually notice it, that the moment that she left that company, she was very sad and she was involved in lawsuits, etc. And then she joined the GigaOS platform, and I could see that that thing that shifted changed everything. I mean, it actually changed her as a person. It changed the way she talks, the way she looks, the way she feels, the way she expresses herself, staying very close to herself. And I think this was the main thing that I noticed. Before, she was very dependent on the owner of the company, dependent on business partners. And then when she started with this other company, she became, and it could have been any company. It was not the GigaOS platform per se, but she changed. And that is one of the most impressive changes I have seen with women, just making a 180 shift, and just everything changes. Her relationship changed with her partner, with her grandchild, everything. The whole world started changing when you change. Yeah.
Those are such great closing words. I know you have to go, or you've got 2 minutes, then you said you've got to go.
I have 5 more minutes, but you know what's interesting with this change? Then money started to come almost by itself.
Yes. So after having followed and done many years of strategy in many different parts of my life, and I love structure, don't get me wrong, but really do my best to study and follow all these different strategies, I can totally assure you, the moment you trust that yourself and that flow of prosperity and abundance, and that you have everything in you, just need to do what you love, and you need to do it well and do it often, money just comes naturally. It's true. I have been able to let go of all strategies. I refuse to now. I'm even the rebel, right? I refuse to pay marketing on social media. I refuse to keep to any kind of strategies of this is what a post needs to look like. This is what your page needs to look like. I just do it my way. And yeah, maybe it's a slower growth, could be. Maybe if I had done it all, I would have been where I am now. But I wouldn't be where I am now in this happy contentment that I am now. Because now I know that everything that I did, and I think this is so true for finances, where you put your money is where you're putting your energy. And when we start becoming really diligent and discerning about where we put our money, those choices, those conscious ones, just come back to us in more abundance. It really does. when I made the choice to say, okay, I am only gonna use organic face products. Yes, they cost more. Yes, they're less available, maybe not now anymore, but I just want to do that. And I did a whole business around that. Although they were, not well known, the marketing was shitty of those companies, but the stuff was so good. And I made that choice and I said, I'm going to do this. I was booked out. So, the magic that happens when we make those committed, conscious choices, I think that's what we need to tune into more. Do you agree?
Very beautiful. Yes, yes, and yes. Very beautiful.
So, do you have any closing words for us ladies before we go into our money activation experiment? You can then watch it, Mari, because this is super cool.
Okay, cool. I saw one question, and that's from Marinella about investing in housing. Absolutely. The thing about housing is that many times it's a high investment, but on the long term, I do definitely believe I own some houses here in Holland, and they are generating a passive income, even though the tax system in Holland is now changing, so it's less attractive. But still, I do believe in housing and real estate. So if you have the chance to invest in that, definitely, yeah, for sure. And for closing words, um, whatever you do, stay close to yourself, please. That's the biggest gift you can give yourself. So many times we drift away, we wander away because we want to be like someone else, but you are just beautiful as you are. There's nothing to change about it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So then let's repeat our invitation to what we've now heard. 17th of January. We're doing an exclusive masterclass on, can you say the title, Murray?
On the title.
I sent it to you, right? We came up with this great title.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
How to prosper with gold and digital assets.
How to prosper with gold and digital assets. So those were all those NFTs and Bitcoins and thingies and like that, and gold. And we're going to do a masterclass on it. I'm going to be listening. I'm going to be there, but I'm going to be more in the listening role and maybe asking questions. Mari's going to teach, don't worry. And you can sign up in the link that you'll find either in the chat here or down below in the comments. And now, Mari, for you, as a thank you for coming in, I'd love you to experience 1 minute of our powerful intention work for you. Are you in for that? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm now going to let you put us out of the spotlight, me and you. Oh, these screens, wait a minute. There you go, you did it yourself. Thank you. So, goddesses, our intention for Maury is that he is immediately, completely, and permanently happy, healthy, and well in every way. So let's pretend we're in a physical space together, holding hands. We take 3 conscious breaths to drop into our heart. And then from our hearts, we are sending out the following intention. Our intention is that Mari is immediately, completely, and permanently happy, healthy, and well in every way. Our intention is that Mari is immediately, completely, and permanently happy, healthy, and well in every way. So it is, so it shall be, or something even better. Thank you so much. Come back into the here and now. Thank you so much, Maury. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of boost we sent you. Did you notice anything?
Thank you so much. Yes, I did notice.
You did? What did you notice?
getting fulfilled.
Oh, we like that.
Feeling filled up with energy. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Murray. Thank you so much for making time. See you soon.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, no, girls, how did you like that? Did you have a good time? Did you enjoy that? Yeah, I'm seeing some headlights. Okay, some head nods and headlights. Okay, so I'm going to get usual goddesses. Oop, they're not replaced. I wanted to get me in there too. Hi, Lily. There you are. Then we'll get in Yolanda and Nicole. Here we go. Ladies, put on your mics and tell me. Let's start with Yolanda. How was that for you? Did you learn something?
Yes, a lot of things were familiar to me, but I'm curious for the workshop. I really want to follow this. Yeah.
Thank you. How about you, Nicole?
I really liked his last words and also your encouragement to stay close to yourself. So whatever you are coming up with, don't limit yourself and think it is not working because it doesn't fit into the pattern. And that is very encouraging. I really love that part.
Thank you. What about you, Lily?
I was interested in the difference that his concept, his perception of the difference between the approach of men and women, that women see money as energy, and for men, it's a strategy that brings success for them, a bit more intellectual, I guess. It was very interesting to hear that.
Yes. Yes. If I now think of the women that I know that are wealthy, they're different categories. I came up with, I have the category of women who are wealthy and business owners, and I'm not saying their names anyway. And from the outside, they seem more male in their way of doing life. It's very structured. Every minute it's like it's like this driven sort of energy. I'm not judging it. I'm just saying that's kind of what their approach. And then there are a few women, but I do know them, and I do count myself to them, who have a completely different way of approaching life, who really just embrace this everything is energy thing and have included financial prosperity in there. Because I think some of us have, for some reason, chosen not to include that. And there, I think that's also conditioning coming from past lives, coming from patriarchy, coming from ancestral things, where I think our experience in the past, that's a concept, has been negative with money. And if we look at how money is being used in this world right now, we do see a very unfair spread of that money, right? And we could be tempted to think that those who have a lot of money are making the worst choices. But we can also choose to look at those who are making really good money, our billionaires, our millionaires, our wealthy people who are contributing, who are, making a difference, who are investing in cleaning up the oceans and doing good stuff, because they do exist too, don't they? So that's our perspective. And I, for myself, I know that the ones that I will not name, they exist. But by me focusing on the ones that are doing good and taking part in those movements, I feel I'm investing my energy better. I think that's just a choice. Okay. So would you like to do this money activation experiment with me now? Yes? Yes? A little more enthusiasm. I was super excited about this because we're going to do this experiment, and then we're going to check back in again in a week and then in 3 weeks to see what has changed, what is different. Okay, so I got this money activation experiment off TikTok and I liked it so much that I thought, okay, let's adapt it a little bit because I like, fine-tuning it, and let's do this too. So the structure for this experiment is that we're going to say a certain sentence 3 times in the morning, 6 times in lunch afternoon time, and 9 times in the evening. And our intention is to activate the money flow towards us. And of course, that we're going to be giving and receiving in equal balance. We're in the flow, of course, yeah, because that's who we are. Okay, and we're going to say this thing 3 times in the morning, 6 times at lunchtime or in the afternoon, and 9 times in the evening. Are you ready? I am so happy and grateful now. I am so happy and grateful now that money flows to me with grace, ease, and joy. Simple, huh? I am so happy and grateful now that money flows to me with grace, ease, and joy. I'm going to say it a 3rd time. I am so happy and grateful that money flows to me with grace, ease, and joy. You want to write it down. And I've got it on a big sort of Post-it thing. And then I'm going to duplicate this Post-it because I'm going to put it on my mirror in the bathroom. So I remember there. I am going to put it on the inside of the door that I walk out of every day. So I see it there. So we really want to set ourselves up for success here. Okay. We place this handwritten because then you've done it with your, muscles and brain thing too. And I would choose a bright color so it really pops out. And place it strategically. Can you write this in the chat? I have no paper with me. I'm sure we'll do that service for you. I'm sure someone will write it in the chat for you. I am so happy and grateful now that money flows to me with grace, ease, and joy. So here we're going to train our brain, ladies. Once you've written it down, try and say it to yourself because you have now heard it. So you've got to integrate it by being able to say it. So you don't have your mics on now, but you could go ahead and not look at your piece of paper. And you could say, I am so happy and grateful now that money flows to me with grace, ease, and joy. And you want to now repeat it until you know it by heart. Remember, that's how we learn things at school. And some of those poems we learned at school, we still know because they're that deep in us. So that's how deep this sentence wants to go. So it becomes what? What does it become if this sentence goes really, really deep? Co-hosts, what do you think? How does it go from a thought to a
habit?
That would be the next step. Before it becomes a habit, what does it have to be? It creates a feeling. Yes, that's true.
Belief.
Thank you. Yes, belief. Belief. We want to create a belief. So this, if you agree with it, wants to become your new belief. Okay, so for it to become a new belief, you need to be able to also say it. Whenever I wake you up, you say, hey, I'm so happy and grateful now that money flows to me with grace, ease, and joy. You see, I've been working with it ever since yesterday. So I've already kind of got it in me. And then if you want to take it even a step deeper, you could do that now. You could move your body in some victorious mode. So, research has shown if you put your, that's it, I'm encouraging you. Put your, that's right. I am so happy and grateful now that money flows to me with grace, ease, and joy.
Flows to me.
And now you heard all those voices and that went into your subconscious mind. You could then go ahead and you could take your phone and you could record it on your phone. You could put on the voice messages. This is how I train my brain. Really, it works. So you go in your voice messages. You all have it on your phone if you have a smartphone. You go in your voice messages, and then you take the microphone real close to your heart or your voice, and then you say, I am so happy. Now I'm grateful that money flows to me with grace, ease, and joy. And then you could say it in 10 different voices. You could go ahead and you say it in your Mickey Mouse voice, in your sexiest voice, in your funniest voice, in your most outrageous voice. You say it angry, you say it sad, you just say it always.
That money flows to me with grace.
See, someone's already doing it. Okay, so okay, so next week we're going to check in with each other and see what happened doing this for a week, and then we're going to check in again in 3 weeks. Okay. So maybe my darling co-host could also, because I don't have my agenda with me here right now, could you make a mental note that you remind me in the Goddess Circle? Hey, check in about the money activation experiment, and then we'll see what happens. Okay. Anything you'd like to add to that, co-hosts?
I love that because I just started a similar thing in different words with my whole family to make all of us congruent, because we have many great ideas, but sometimes there might be one of us in the group sabotaging, right? So we started this, and I will definitely invite them to join me in that.
Fun. It's going to be a family thing. Gina in the chat is saying, wouldn't it be important to say a lot of money? That's a human concept. A lot, small. It's just money is coming to you. Money is flowing to you. That flow of money, that's what we're tuning in on. A lot, massive, huge, a flow. That's what we want. But if you like to say a lot of money, then go ahead, you do that. Are there any other questions? Let's see. I've got some comment up there I'm going to read. Paola says, she absolutely agrees. Our ancestors taught us that men are the ones who make money and have to take care of us financially. Yes, that used to be that way. That is absolutely true. Because we're supposed to be mothers. And some of us, we are mothers, right? That's also a truth. But we're able to do it and we're worthy to make that money. And there's no need to pretend to be men. We are powerful women and we have our own personalities and beings. Yes, that's what this circle is about creating financial freedom the feminine way. Okay, so I would say we now get into our intention work. Do you agree with that? So our intention is that we immediately, completely and permanently are happy and grateful that money flows to us with grace, ease, and joy. How about that? Just take it another step deeper, and then we can say, okay, we did this money activation experiment. We said these things 3 times, 6 times, 9 times a day, and we intended on it. Yes? Okay, yes. So let's put it in the chat. You've all got it, and write it down for yourselves. Say, our intention is, or my intention is, that I immediately, permanently, and completely happy and grateful now that money flows to me with grace, ease, and joy. Our intention is that we immediately, completely, and permanently are happy and grateful now that money flows to us with grace, ease, and joy. Okay, I will release my beautiful goddesses out of the spotlight. Thank you for being here. Let's all get into our positions in which we like to intend. You can do this sitting upright or lying down. I like having my neck and my spine straight because that allows the energy centers within my body to be aligned and to let that energy flow. And no, you don't need to see, hear, or feel anything. It's different every time. And the way it happens for you is the right way. So just go ahead and trust the power of intention, especially the power of intention amplified by the multitudes of 8. And know that intending works on all timelines. It works in the past, it works in the future, and it works in the now. So thank you for joining in on this beautiful experiment now. As we ground down into this present moment, let's take 3 breaths together, imagining that we're all holding hands in this beautiful circle, connecting our hearts. Let's drop into the space of our hearts. And then from our hearts, we send out the intention that we are immediately, completely and permanently so happy and grateful now that money is flowing to us with grace, ease, and joy. Our intention is that we immediately, completely, and permanently are so happy and grateful now that money flows to us with grace, ease, and joy. Our intention is that we immediately, completely, and permanently are so happy and grateful now that money flows to us with grace, ease, and joy. And yes, we are happy, healthy, and well in every way. Okay, someone's got their mic on. That obviously means that we need to come back into the here and now, knowing that we are so happy and grateful now that money is flowing to us with grace, ease, and joy, and we are happy, healthy, and well in every way. Yes, yes, yes. Well, that was interesting. You know, I have this contract with the universe. If there are sounds that appear that need to be paid attention to, then I want to pay attention to them. And that was laughing. There was someone giggling. Did you hear too? So maybe that was the universe saying, yeah, girls, you got this. You got this. You're on the right track here. I don't know. But thank you for that added laughter. And my suggestion is that we all take this intention into our nightly sleeping hours. So when we go to sleep tonight, for those that are gathered here now, let's repeat that intention and know that many of us will be connecting at the same time. So I will definitely be doing that. And then let's notice if we can feel each other in the vortex. Sound like a plan? Yeah? Okay, so now for all those of you, because I see some faces here that are joining me in 2 weekends, so 26th to 28th of January at Das Lichtwerk here in Salzburg for the very first retreat. You're going to be receiving a little email from us soon. Actually, you've already got it. I think we're just waiting for one answer still. We already have a WhatsApp group where we can all connect, and that's where you can ask your questions and where we can all get to know each other. Please bring your bathing suits and please bring a hat and some gloves, because it's pretty cold and the weather forecast is going to stay cold. So make sure you bring layers when we go out for our forest walks. And if anyone here listening is saying, what, a retreat? how come I didn't know? Well, we did send out, I think, one email. It was filled very quickly because we're only 10 participants, which is beautiful because it makes it very intimate. But here's the good news. I will be doing more retreats for sure. I just can't tell you when because I'm, creating in the flow and I've got a lot of things going on here. But I will also be offering little things here like cacao ceremonies where you can just come for a day. And then we will do holotropic breathing and raw cacao and frequency therapy. So if you are signed up to the newsletter, which you, I think, are because you're here right now, if not, go to joymartina.com and sign up there. You will be posted. If you're in the Goddess Circle, you're safe because you'll always be the first to know. But I will be hosting a few things there. So don't be sad if you're not there this time. And do send me an email if you'd like to be there next time. We're already creating a waiting list for the next retreat. So just send me an email and say, retreat, I want to come too. And then you'll be put on top of the list. Okay. Does anyone have any question, any feedback, anything you would like to share? Now would be the time. I'm seeing a couple of new faces here, like you, Gwen. I've never seen you here. That's so nice to see you. Thank you. So anyone questions? Emmy is saying, thank you so much. This was my first time. I loved it. Amazing energy. Yay! Thank you for coming in. And do invite your sisters in. The more we are, the merrier, I swear to God. And our power of intention work is becoming so powerful. I'm so happy that Nicole and Yolanda are also always gathering Wednesdays, right, girls? So anyone here listening who says, I like this intention work, I want to do more of that. Yolanda or Nicole, tell the girls where they can find you. Silence.
As we are a group of, I think, stable group of at least 10, 12 people, also some men are joining us, and it is really getting every time more deep, I would say, and we are all, like, everybody is very open to share and supportive, and this creates like a really great vortex, I would say, that is so amazing. There are a few of our group here in it as well, and there are sometimes people also joining just once. Everyone is very welcome, and you can, if you're interested, please put your number down, maybe here in to me.
I have a better idea. If you're interested, because there might be people watching this later, if you're interested, send Nicole an email. Nicole, now please tell us your email address.
Yeah, I write it in the chat. Yeah.
And say it out loud too, because the chat is not there when people watch it on the
replay.
All
right, of course. It's Nicole with COLE .Gansert, as you see my name, I think under my
Gansert is spelled, I'll spell it out for you. Nicole, NICOLE dot Gansert, GANZERT at gmx.ch for Switzerland. gmx.ch. Okay, so if that's interesting to you, and you meet on Wednesdays at what time?
Wednesdays at 7 o'clock, right? 7 o'clock, I just have to remember. No, 8 o'clock Central European time, 9 o'clock Greece time, and 7 o'clock England time. We have different time zones.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not seeing any other questions. I'm seeing another Marinella. This was my first time too. And even if I'm sick, I really enjoyed it. Thank you. That's great. And you'll notice intending helps you heal. It really does. So you're never too sick to intend, especially when you're not feeling well. To use the power of intention by tuning into a moment where you can imagine that all the challenges that you're facing right now are behind you. That's the secret of manifestation. Okay, I love you. Thank you so much for joining in. And thank you for bringing your sisters and moms and daughters and girls in. And have a beautiful day or night wherever you may be right now. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. For this abundance.